Debra Winger. What if I told you one of Hollywood's brightest stars once walked away from the industry, not because she failed but because she refused to be controlled? Not for scandal, not for addiction, not even for a bad box office run. Just a single, unforgivable act. She said no. Welcome to the story of Debra Winger, a woman whose fire lit up every scene she touched, but who Hollywood tried to smother the moment she pushed back. Let's rewind to 1980. Winger was cast in Urban Cowboy alongside John Travolta, who, at that time, was basically the king of cool after Saturday Night Fever. Their chemistry was electric, but behind the scenes, it was a storm waiting to happen. Their first meeting? Travolta asked her if she was Jewish, then followed up with, "Did you go to college?" The kind of questions that seem harmless until you realize they're loaded with subtle judgment. And then a crude joke she's never repeated publicly. Winger could have walked out then. But something sparked between them, an unpredictable, explosive kind of energy that drew them together on and off the screen. What started as friction turned into a full-blown romance, and also the beginning of a nightmare. During a love scene, Travolta was supposed to lightly slap her. It's a movie thing, a fake hit. Only, he didn't fake it. He slapped her hard. So hard he broke one of her teeth. There was no cut. No, "Are you okay?" Just a stunned set and a painful silence. And then, in the weirdest twist of all, Travolta proposed. Right after hurting her. She said no. Calmly, instantly, instinctively. That slap wasn't just a moment of violence, it was a flash of truth. That their chemistry had tipped from passion into something toxic. She walked away. From the man, from the illusion, from a version of love that came with bruises. And that choice, saying no, refusing to explain, would define the rest of her career. A year later, she starred opposite Richard Gere in An Officer and a Gentleman. The movie was a smash. She was magnetic. The romance on screen? Iconic. But according to Winger, working with Gere felt like acting against a brick wall. Cold. Closed off. Zero emotional connection. She said, "I didn't love that movie when I made it and I still don't." Louis Gossett Jr., who played the drill sergeant, later confirmed the tension. Winger and Gere barely spoke when the camera stopped. And while Gere stayed diplomatic, Winger admitted it straight up. Her own insecurities made her irritable, and sometimes she took it out on others. Especially him. But even more painful than the tension with co-stars were the constant battles behind the scenes. Director Taylor Hackford and producer Don Simpson didn't treat her like a collaborator. They treated her like a problem. Simpson, notorious for his sexism, told crew members she wasn't able enough to be the lead. Imagine hearing that as you're giving the performance of your life. And it got worse. Some days after reviewing footage, they'd tell her to take diuretics because her face looked puffy on camera. Not medical advice, just men in suits deciding how a woman's face should look. Winger pushed back. Always. At one point, she refused to film a scene that felt completely wrong for her character. Hackford lost it. Delays cost money. But when he reviewed her footage and really listened to her reasoning, even he had to admit she was right. The scene made more sense her way. Did she get thanks? Respect? No. Just a label, difficult. And that label stuck. Fast forward to the early 90s. Winger was cast in A League of Their Own, and she took the role seriously. Like 3 months of baseball training with the Chicago Cubs seriously. This was her kind of movie, a period piece about women making history. But then the studio cast Madonna. Winger didn't scream. She didn't call to complain. She just quietly walked. Later, she said the movie shifted into something closer to an Elvis film than a historical drama. She wasn't bitter. She just didn't want to be part of something she no longer believed in. When asked about Madonna's acting, she gave a single line, "I think her film career speaks for itself." No shade needed. Just facts. Then came Terms of Endearment. This film was magic on screen, pure emotion, heart-wrenching honesty.